The grammar lesson we are doing today is about the past continuous. By the end of the video, you will have a clear idea of the form and the most common uses of the tense to speak about past events. And now let's get into it. First, we're going to look at the form, the basic structure of the past continuous. Let's say, for instance, the following sentence. I was working when you called me. There are two tenses in this sentence. This is, as you may recognize, the past simple, and this other one is the past continuous, the one we're talking about now. As you can see, it is made up by the past simple of the verb to be and the ing form of the verb. So, in the affirmative form, we say, I was working, you were working, he, she, it was working, we, you, they were working. Some other examples. She was listening to the radio early in the morning. They were listening to the radio early in the morning. Or, he was having breakfast at 8 o'clock. We were having breakfast at 8 o'clock. So these are examples using different pronouns in the affirmative form, all of them. Now we are moving on to the negative form. I was not working when you called me. What's new here in this sentence is that there is a new word, the adverb not, placed in between the auxiliary verb and the main verb. So in the negative form, we say, I was not working, you were not working, he, she, it was not working, we, you, they were not working. We have seen the full form, but it is much more common in spoken English the use of the contracted form for the negative, like this. I wasn't working, you weren't working, he, she, it wasn't working, we, you, they weren't working. The contracted form is N''T. The apostrophe means that we are missing a letter, in this case the letter O, from the word not. Some other examples of the negative form would be, she wasn't listening to the radio. They weren't having breakfast at 8 o'clock. And finally, we're going to learn about the interrogative form. Were you working when I called you? Was I working? Were you working? Was he, she, it working? Were we, you, they working? You can see that this time The structure is the verb to be in the past and the subject and the ing form of the verb. Don't forget to write a question mark at the end to show that it is a question. So, the only thing that changes in comparison to the affirmative form is the word order. Now we place the verb at the beginning and then the subject. Some other examples would be: was he listening to the radio? Were they having breakfast at 8 o'clock? There is also the possibility of using a question word at the beginning, like this: when, why, where, what, how, plus the past of the verb to be and the subject plus the ing of the verb and the question mark, of course. Let's see how it works with some examples. When were you listening to the radio? I was listening to the radio early in the morning. Why were you listening to the radio? I was listening to the radio because I was interested in the news. Where were they having breakfast? They were having breakfast in the kitchen. Is it clear? Now the answer is more specific. Finally, we can say that the main use of the past continuous is to express that an activity was in progress at a specific time in the past. Let's say, yesterday at 6 p.m. I was eating dinner. It means that I started earlier, and at 6 I was in the process of eating dinner. We can visually express the idea like this. But we also use the past continuous to describe a long action in the past that is interrupted by a short action. The shorter action is always in the past simple, may stop the action in progress or not. Let's say, I was eating dinner. This is a long action, the action in progress. When you called me, this is the short action that interrupts the long action at a specific time. Well, this is the end of the lesson. We have learned about the different structures: affirmative, negative, and interrogative, and also about the most important uses of the past continuous tense. We have to take into account that this has been a very basic explanation of the topic. In the future, we'll care about a more deepened and detailed knowledge on the subject. So, see you next time. Bye for now, and thank you for watching.